Elio guys, and welcome back to yet another account review here. Now this actually isn't my account, so I'm not sure why I started off on this screen. But anyways, in today's video we have Leafye's account, which in case you guys don't know, he is also the owner of the, I believe it's called or pronounced Leafye account, also known as Ancient Angel over there on Discord. So if you guys haven't joined the Discord already, what are you waiting for? The link is always in the description below. Make sure you join the Discord, and after you join the Discord, go ahead and @ Ancient Angel and go ahead and tell him that Elio sent you to @ him, and I'm sure he's going to be very happy about that. But in the next video I will have my own personal account review, but let's go ahead and see what good old Ancient Angel is working with on his secondary account, or technically I guess first account, whatever, his other account, you guys. And oh yeah, right before I hit that monster button, if you guys haven't considered already, go and hit that subscribe button at any time during the video. Make sure you like the video if you indeed like it, because it helps show me that you guys want more MSL content or anything just related to hearing me do stuff and hopefully entertain you or be educational towards you, at least to some degree. That is my only pure goal in the world, to be one of those two things, at least 1% of it. But let's go ahead and dive right over here into his Mon box, you guys. Alright, so starting off here we have a Fire Leo who's on a protection set. He's rocking a 107% crit rate, plenty of crit rate on him. He's also sitting at 62% resist. He's super evoed, but no skill books on him and no trinkets / no enhancements. But let's go ahead and take a look at his gems real quick. So there's an attack gem with 22% crit rate and 15% resist. There's another attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. And then there's a crit rate gem with 21% resist. Okay, pretty solid subs up there. And I'm assuming the protection set is just to help him kind of round out his stats and make him a little bit more able to survive if he was being used. But I'm assuming that he currently isn't being used. Moving on though, we have Fire Wildfang, who he has just done absolutely dirty over here. She does have she has HP and maybe attack or HP attack or something of that nature, but her overall stat distribution with the gems that he has on her isn't anything super duper remarkable, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass on her. We do have Fire Yuki over here though. She is on a Gem of Ruin set, fully booked up, and also super evoed. She's sitting at 105% crit rate and then 55% resist. Let's see what she's rocking though. An attack gem with 23% resist and 14.5% crit rate. Crit rate gem with 20% crit damage and 12% resist. And then a defense gem. So crit rate, attack, defense, if I'm remembering that correctly here. And this one has a 26.5% crit rate sub. That is pretty decent. So, but no trinkets up there, no enhancements, so maybe she's just world boss fodder. Fire Succubus, I would love to skip over her because I'm not a big fan of Fire Succubus, but she's triple square master race in this case right here. No skill bucks, but once again super evoed, maybe just for the super evolution gems. But triple square master race, 104% crit rate. Let's see what she's rocking here. So there's an attack gem with 13.5% crit rate, a crit rate gem with 16% resist, and then an HP gem. So crit rate, HP attack. Obviously the HP is there because her stats, her base stats are very fragile. And he also has what, a 26.5% crit rate. But her base stats are a bit fragile, so it's kind of understandable of why she has the HP there. Does she still have the crit lead or the crit? Yeah, she still is crit reliant, which really hurts her performance, because yes, you could get some more damage out of her because she is crit reliant, meaning she could be crit rate, attack. But even with a super evolution, due to her lack of survivability, at least in one man's opinion, you got to sacrifice a gem, which makes her even weaker than what she is because she's just super duper fragile. He also has another one. I'm not sure what is wrong with him, but we're just going to go ahead and move past that. Coming up next though is Fire Nike. She is triple square master race once again on a conviction set. She has plenty of HP on her and she's sitting at max resist, fully booked up, and also enhanced. So there's a defense gem over here with 26% resist, HP gem with 22% resist, And then an HP gem with 33% crit rate and 9% resist. What kind of HP gem is that, dude? What the fudge? Enhancements wise though, pretty standard here. Crit resist, HP defense, and then some more resist. Very, very well done though, I will say that. Moving up next though, we have Fire Draka, which he has one Fire Draka skill book. I should use it right now. By the way, did you guys take a look at that gold yet? I just noticed it right now. Don't, you know, no comments on that. No comments. I mean, we're only a couple minutes into the video. But anyways, this Draka, not dragon, is on a Siphon set. It's sitting at 101% crit rate, and she also has max resist. Very, very pretty, dude. There's a crit rate gem with 15% resist, an attack gem with 17% resist and 14.5% crit rate, and then another attack gem with 22% resist and 13% crit rate. Still, that is absolutely beautiful. Crit rate, attack, max resist, max crit rate. Wow, that is a really, really well off Fire Draka in my opinion. One of the betters that I have seen. But she has attack, crit rate, crit resist, crit damage, resist, and also some attack, making sure that she can hopefully act and then also hit like a butt cheek on a stick. Very, very well done here. Fire Sea Star is next. She's sitting at 85% resist, and she just have some crit rate, but she's not fully booked up. But let's take a look at her gems anyways. So Conviction set, she has a defense gem with 25% resist, an attack gem with 19% crit rate, and then another attack gem with 24% resist. So he went with defense versus HP, which is understandable because you could see her defense is like pretty much non-existent. So she does get a hefty boost in the Nat 3 League, which maybe he was building her for that specifically, which I can understand. But you know, in that scenario, unless she's like a defensive mon, making her like full out DPS is also a good idea because she hits like a butt cheek on a stick. Followed up next though, we have Fire Shinobi, who's Evo 3. No books on him, but he is sitting at, what is that, 103% crit rate on a Valor set. So crit damage gem with 13.5% crit rate and 12.5% attack. There's an attack gem with 25.5% crit rate. And then there's a crit rate gem. So I've done something similar on my Draka actually. And while I'm not like a big guy of saying, you know, you shouldn't run your mons with crit rate, crit damage, attack, it's not the worst thing in the world. I know I said that on Avas, or the Mighty Duck one that I call. That's his nickname on Discord. Some type of duck thing with Donald Duck. But, you know I made that comment before, but if it's on like a Valor set where you're getting still that attack boost, it does kind of help to offset that, because my crit rate attack Draka, which you guys will see in my account review, which once again I said is coming up next, her damage with the Valor set like this out damages the one on Siphon with crit rate attack, which is why I decided to keep that set on her at this point in time. So I'm definitely down with that, dude. Definitely down with it if you can pull it off here. No enhancements though, so we're moving on. There's Fire Wukong over here. He's sitting at 104% crit rate. Book is available, but let's take a look at these gems of ruin action over here. So there's a crit rate gem, nothing extravagant on that one. HP gem with 19.5% crit rate, and then an attack gem with 13% resist and 20.5% crit rate. So that explains where the crit rate is coming from. Resist, it is what it is, but obviously without him being booked and no trinkets on him, we know Ancient Angel is not doing Titans. There's also Fire Radis here. I'm not going to really go into him because it's Fire Radis. He's a Nat 3. I don't know where he would be using him at, even in the Nat 3 League. But yeah, I'm just not going to get into him. There is Fire Verde though, for anyone out there rocking a Fire Verde. She's on a Valor set as well. She's sitting at 106% crit rate. So let's take a look at these gems though. So on her Gem of Valor set, she has an attack gem with 26% resist and 15% crit rate. Also a crit rate gem with 13.5% attack. And then an HP gem. So crit rate, HP attack. So kind of a Bruiser-ish build. Not sure how I feel about that, but that 27% crit rate sub is pretty spicy. Yeah, I mean, she's at max for her crit rate, but that damage, yeah, it's not a good set. But once again, he doesn't do Titans. Maybe he's being like an Astro Guide Andy like me, but yeah, not the best. There's a Neza over here. Not really going to get into her. Doesn't seem to be anything going on here. There is a fire, I believe, Sansing. I always get like Amayoji and Sansing mixed up, dude. Like, it has to be Sansing. It has to be, because Amayoji actually has eyes. But let's take a look at this fire Sansing. Evo 3 books are available, and she's also variant. But she's on a broken set, rocking, what is that? 69% resist. You get it? 69. What are you? 11. But her crit rate is sitting at 64%, which isn't necessary though, because she's not crit rate reliant. She's just there to be annoying, if I recall. But HP gem of 14% resist and 13% crit rate. Another HP gem of 14% resist. She has crit rate, but she's a defender. She doesn't technically need it. And then another HP gem with 12% crit rate. Really good crit rate, not 12% crit rate, 12% resist. And then 21.5% crit rate, which I only brought up because really good rolls into the crit rate. Actually, that is some spicy luck over there, my dude. There's a Fire Cupid over here. We've seen plenty of Fire Cupids, so if we go over a healer, I'll probably only go over like one healer just to make things go along here. So we're going to go ahead and pick Fire Cupid because he's sitting over here, and he does have a super evolution to any of the boys and girls out there rocking their Fire Cupids and Titans. But he has a recovery gem up there with 17% resist, HP gem with 15% resist, and then another HP gem with nothing really spicy on it. I mean, he doesn't really do Titans, but obviously I would probably give him some more defense. Usually these mons are built HP recovery defense for survivability purposes. But yeah, just figured I'd bring that out here. Fire Miho, why does she exist? We're going to skip her. She's not even super evoed. We're going to skip her. There's Fire Pandora here. We did Fire Cupid, but she should be in a similar boat here. She's rocking a defense gem with 23% resist, a recovery gem with 22% resist, and then an HP gem. So basically this is the go-to method for most of the healers. There's some like Water Bass which are slightly different because they're not technically healers, because if I recall, Water Bass is a tank type. But yeah, that's general the scenario of what you want to go about with your healers. Moving on though, there's Fire Odin over here. She's on a broken set, but she's sitting at 73% resist. So let's take a look at her. There's an HP gem with 18% resist, a defense gem with 21% resist, and then another defense gem of 14% resist. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. She's not super duper useful though. Obviously, you could Evo 3 her for the Astra Guide, but there's just better mons to use as debuffers as you go on with the game. If you're a newer player, I mean, Fire Odin does work for whatever content that you may be doing, but obviously once you get a more dedicated mon that does purely defense down, or that does attack down plus heal the squad, obviously you would kind of move her out of the way here. There's a Fire Gen. This one's on a Siphon set, and there's also another Fire Gen on a Siphon set. So we'll pick this Fire Gen over here on a Siphon set. He's rocking an attack gem with 12% resist, another attack gem, nothing spicy up there, and then another attack gem, nothing spicy. So purely just trying to get him to hit like an F word and get his morale boost up so he can go into Predator, which if I recall, Fire Gen is the actual unique one, which yeah, his morale boost is similar to like HP Siphon on some mons, where the damage dealt to that mon coincide with what that monster gets in terms of HP return, but it's pretty high. So similar instance here where if he hits super duper hard, his SP bar should be full. It's not an X amount. It's if I hit you and you don't die, or if I hit you and you die, congratulations, I'm now going into Predator. Which he's honestly a good farmer. It's just that getting him is super duper impractical, because especially if you're a newer player, you can get him only from the Dragon Dungeon, which is available on the weekends. But how are you going to farm out enough extreme runs as a beginner and not get something that's, you know, better than Gen in order to get your Gen Evo 3, unless you use Gleams on him, which I honestly do not recommend you doing so, because you can get a better mon to Evo 3 than Fire Gen. So he's just in a weird champ situation here. Moving forward though, we have another Fire Wukong. This one's on the Leech set, but there's nothing spicy going on here, so we'll keep it moving. Another Fire Draka. This is the third? This is the third? No, this is the second one. Okay, this is the second one. Another Siphon set, rocking 104% crit rate. This one does have some enhancements and some trinket action as well. There's a crit rate gem and 16% resist. An attack gem with 13% crit rate and resist. And then also another attack gem with 17.5% crit rate. Okay. Okay. Enhancements pretty much identical to the first one here. And I'm just now noticing the amount of essence he has for his enhancements as well. It's almost at like 400,000. What the fudge, dude? What the hell is going on here, dude? But anyways, crit rate, attack, crit resist, and also crit damage. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down over here, rocking your second Fire Draka. Then also another Fire Shinobi here. He's sitting at 65% crit rate. No enhancements. Let's take a look at these gems. There's an attack gem with 20% crit rate. Another attack gem with 26% resist up there. And then another attack gem with 27% crit rate. Really good rolls into the crit rate, man. What the freak? Here's the third Fire Draka who's on a Siphon set. This one's sitting at max crit rate as well and 63% resist. Enhanced, but we're not going to go over that because we've already went over two of the Drakas. And this one, once again, same thing. I think, yeah, stat distribution wise, this one's a little bit stronger, but that may be due to enhancements or just literally the lack of a trinket right there. But 4 Drakas on Siphon sets, dude. You've seen it here first, you guys. What the heck is going on? Moving forward though, we have Fire Arthur, who recently got his ultimate evolution. He's rocking 73% resist on a Gem of Healer set. Gem of Weird Champ right now. But he has a defense gem with 22% resist. HP gem of 16% resist. And then an attack gem. So Bruiser with some resist and ability to heal himself as well. I like that, dude. I like that. I think Bruiser is a really good fit for him. That way you do get some damage, but you also don't sacrifice survivability, which is what you want, so he can hopefully get his water edge off if he's facing against water mons, or hopefully he can stay in the mix and apply his stuns and defense down to whatever that he's fighting. He also has 2 Fire Sphinxes on an Intuition set, but I'm not going to review these guys. And you may be asking, why, Elio? I have a Evo 3 Fire Sphinx. Well, if you've seen the Courageous Striker video, you will learn that Unflinching Strike, especially on the Sphinxes, yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. Anyways, coming up next, so we have Fire Mr. C, aka Cernunos, Kernunos, Kernunos. I call him Mr. C in case you guys don't know, because I slaughter his name every time, and I'd rather not be that disrespectful. But anyways, he's rocking 70% resist, no enhancements, no trinkets, but let's see what's going on here. So there's an HP gem with 22% resist and 15% recovery. There's a recovery gem with 21% resist. And then also another recovery gem. Nothing really worthwhile mentioning for the substats. I mean, that's fine. That's pretty standard of what I have him on built as well, because he's a defender type, but since his main selling point is his ability to weaken and also apply attack up to your squad, you want to make sure once he gets to his attack up that he can heal the squad and make it worthwhile having him on the team, because his stats are already naturally a lot more robust than a recovery type, which is why he's getting away with rocking double recovery and HP versus a recovery mon needing like a defense gem to go along with that HP. Then we also have a Fire Pixie here, but there's nothing too extravagant going on here. But once again, a decent mon for Titans if you were doing Titans, which, once again, I don't think Ancient Angel believes in Titans. He only believes in the power of PvP. There's Amayoji over here, though. She is on a broken set, but she is rocking 82% resist. Fairly decent defense mon, by the way, in case you guys are rocking her inside your mon box. Let's take a look at these gems though. So there's the defense gem of 17% resist. There's another defense gem of 16% resist. And then there's the HP gem, which is flat, but it is rocking 18% resist. Now, I'm not a big guy over here on flat gems, and I can understand if this was a just a gem to complete the set, But obviously, if he's not using her, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a flex to the world. But if you were using her, I'm willing to compromise one flat gem for a complete set, especially if it's like a siphon set, or even if it's maybe like a pugilist set, depending on what stat is going flat. Because some of these gems are super duper hard to come by. But if it's like a gem of life set or protection or whatever, you ain't got no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. But I think that wraps up the fire mines, you guys. Everything else is not fully leveled and variant and just hanging out here. But these are his mons in terms of the fire guys. At least before we go to storage. Alright, coming in next though, you guys, we have the God of Deceit over here, starting off with the Water Mons on a broken set, but he's sitting at 105% crit rate. No books on him, but he is super evoed. So let's go over here and take a look at these gems real quick. So there's an attack gem of 19% resist and 20% crit rate. There's a crit rate gem of 16% resist. And then there's also an attack gem rocking 21% crit rate. Still pretty good, dude. Like, he's just super duper lucky, or he's farmed out too many gems to get all of these gems of freaking crit rate subs like this. Is absolutely disgusting. And I forgot that he's sitting at 62% resist, and this is no enhancements either, so wow. Then we have Water Victoria over here, aka Water Nike. She is on a gem of healer set, rocking 65% resist. She has an attack gem. Actually, it's not healer, it's leech, which is a bit weird champ actually. But she's rocking an attack gem of 15% resist. There's a defense gem with 23% resist, and then an HP gem. So full out bruiser, rocking 27% attack for the sub right there. So yeah, full on out bruiser on a leech set. I'm not sure if that's necessarily gonna work unless maybe it's being used in like maybe the dimensional dungeon or something like that. Very weird seeing her in a leech set. There's a water succubus though. She is on a gem of ruin set, super evoed, but no books on her. So let's take a look at these gems, because she is sitting at 105% crit rate, which she does require crit rate because of her crit rate need for her skills. But she has an attack gem up here with 21.5% crit rate, HP gem of 19% crit rate, and then crit rate gem with 16% resist and 27% attack. So what was that? Attack, HP. So yeah, once again, this is the unfortunate thing for the succubuses, or at least for the fire and the water. With them being crit rate reliant on their moves, you have to sacrifice one slot to make sure that their moves can get off, which then kind of cuts into their survivability. Because if you look at his defense, I understand that he doesn't have trinkets or enhancements, but her defense is dirt nasty low, and there's no way to kind of counteract that, because you're dedicating a gem slot with crit rate in order for her to make sure her moves actually hit or stick. But if you don't give her that, you're going to need some really good subs to circumvent the crit rate requirement for her moves, which at that point, why would you use that on Water Succubus when you could use it on something else? That's the issue here. Then there's Super Evoed Wet Miho. She's fully booked up as well. She's on a Gem of Life set. She has an attack gem with 13% resist, a defense gem of 16% resist, and also a HP gem, so with 15% resist. So full on out bruiser. Her crit rate sitting at roughly 50%, which isn't that bad at all. And then her resist is 64%, which, yeah, it's perfectly fine. Coming in hot though, we have Wet Wildfang sitting at 77% resist on a broken set, and she does have enhancements. So there's an HP gem of 15% resist, there's a defense gem of 17% resist, and then there's another HP gem of 16% resist, and then 20% attack. Enhancements wise, she's rocking crit resist, defense, HP, and obviously more defense, just for survivability, but she's good. She's not the world's perfect Water Wildfang, but as a guy that has done plenty of account reviews, she's definitely more than acceptable. There's Wet Leo over here. He's super evoed. He's rocking 60% resist. The only issue with Wet Leo though is, okay, he's super evoed, right? And I understand that he's a tank, but why is his attack 2.6k base? Why? And then his defense isn't even freaking 2K. His defense is what some of you guys were born in, like 1997. Like, his defense isn't even 2K, but he's a tank, but he has more attack than some freaking balance mods out there. What? But anyways, he's on a broken set. He's rocking an HP gem of 17% resist, defense gem of 28% crit rate. I only brought that up because that's extremely, once again, weird champ with 9% resist, and then another HP gem of 14% resist. Yeah, just very, very weird champ mon in my opinion. Then we have Water Mona over here on a Siphon set. This may be one of your first mons, especially if you're a newer player rocking a Siphon set here, but she's the old-fashioned triple square master race, which is dead. Triple square master race died once we were able to farm higher golems and get higher potency for our gems. Now it's going to be square triangle master race. Sorry to break it to you, man. Sorry to break it to you. I was like, oh, I clicked on the wrong gem. Yeah, there's nothing really spicy here. It's literally just a Siphon set on her. Which, I mean, is Water Mona. I can't hate on that. There's also a Water Indy over here. He is on a Leech set, but he's sitting at, what, 52% resist, so nothing spicy going on here. Nothing spicy at all, so we'll just keep it moving. Wet Garuda also on a Leech set, but nothing spicy going on with him. Why is your Wet Garuda number 1 Evo 3? And why is he rocking a Leech set, even if it's not like super duper crazy? Who would gem up their Wet Garuda? Which is also variant. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this, but a lot of his Nat 5s are freaking variant, dude. And that just hurts my soul. So we have 2 Sparkets over here. So I'm going to go with this one right here. They're not booked up, but he's rocking 110% crit rate and a little bit of resist as well. So there's a HP gem, crit rate gem with 22% resist, and then an attack gem. So he's trying to get some survivability out of him. And even though I stated before that he doesn't do Titans, if you guys were doing Titans and you do have a Water Sparket, I would obviously just go balls to the wall and probably do like crit rate attack on him if you can, and try to subsidize his lack of HP and defense through trinkets and enhancements until you can get something better. There's Water Scheherazade, which obviously since he does PvP and she's a PvP mon, makes sense. She's decked out with some trinkets over here. She is enhanced, no super ascension skill yet, but I'm sure it's on the way. But she's rocking a pugilist set sitting at 85% resist. So there's a defense gem of 7% resist. There's an HP gem of 18% resist. And then there's a flat HP gem, but like I stated earlier, if you have like a pugilist set or a very, very hard to come by set, if you have something that's flat, then that's perfectly fine, because as long as it works, that's the most important thing, and I'm willing to take a sacrifice to get the most benefit out of having the actual set versus a broken set at that point in time. But 23% resist on that gem, really good resist rolls. Enhancements though, crit resist, defense, and HP pretty standard, same as Water Wild Fang. But yeah, dude, that is poggers, man. That is absolutely poggers. And then after that though, we have Wet Shiva over here. He's sitting at 72% resist. He's on a broken set. He has a defense gem of 15% resist, a HP gem of 22% resist, and then another HP gem of 15% resist. Okay. Yeah, he's pretty solid. I mean, he's not like, oh my goodness, Water Shiva I have to build right now because he's super duper OP, but he is pretty solid. I'm curious to see though if he's going to get an ultimate evolution. Really curious, because that HP is coming in hot with freaking Dark Arthurs. Water Sura, he's on a broken set, but he has max crit rate. Not really useful, so I'm not really going to go over him, because obviously as a newer player, having his crowd control, which is his stun on his 3-star skill, is useful, but with him being single target, he does drop off. Wet Kira though, one of the great mons as of recent, especially for Titans. Let's take a look at her gems real quick. There's the defense gem with 33% resist. Yeah, one of the highest percentages that you can get on a gem. 33%. There's an HP gem of 14% resist. And then there's another HP gem with 8% resist. Very, very great mon, you guys. Absolutely great. Though, she could use some recovery, though, because her recovery stat's low, and with her being a tank type, you know, I would want her attack up to be potent if possible, but you could build her to your own discretion. There's a Water Katyn. I'm just going to bypass him. Water Cupid, level 1, for whatever reason. He's not even 60. Just level 1, weird championing out over here with 76% resist. Let's take a look at these gems here. 20.5% recovery sub though, and 15% resist. There's the HP gem with 13.5% recovery and 16% resist on that one as well. And then another HP gem with some recovery and also 25% resist. So some good rolls into recovery and resist. Essentially telling the game that, hey, I want to put this on a mon that can heal, which is understandable, but Water Cupid is weird champ, so not understandable. There is a Wet Barona. She's on a leech set, but with no real high crit rate, we can see here, it's kind of sus, man. So there's an attack gem with 15% resist, another attack gem, another attack gem. So she's just triple attack, just raw triple attack, which is good, but obviously higher crit rate would mean more damage in the long run, but she's just here hanging out at Evo 3. Same thing with Water Indy over here, which I believe is his second one. Yep, it is his second one. There's Wet Draka on a Ruin set. She is rocking, though, 60% resist just about, and then also max crit rate on a Ruin set. So, HP gem with 21% crit rate and 17% resist. An attack gem with 20% crit rate, and then a crit rate gem. So crit rate HP attack, and this crit rate gem has 22% resist. I'm curious to where he's using her at, though, because he's not doing Titans. So why would she need an attack gem? Is it for, like, maybe Elemental Tower of Chaos or something? Quite peculiar. Then there's Water Valk over here. She's on a broken set. She's sitting at 100% crit rate, so let's take a look at her. So there's an attack gem with 17% crit damage and 15% crit rate. A HP gem with 21% crit rate, and then a crit rate gem with 23% resist. Very, very weird champ. HP crit rate attack. Good thing I'm not a fan of Water Valk, so I could just move on here. We have a Water Purse on a Valor set. Yes, a Valor set. You guys are seeing this correctly. I'm seeing this correctly as well. What the fudge? She has an HP gem though with 22% defense and 15% resist. Another HP gem with 23% resist, and then another HP gem with 21.5% defense and 15% resist. So really good rolls over there in terms of the resist, and then also like defense, for example. Really chunky defense is being added onto her, with them subs adding up combined with trinkets and enhancements as well. I mean, definitely not bad. And you could argue that you're getting some damage out of her, though her main selling point really isn't damage at all. Because, I mean, she's not an HP aggressor, but obviously with her ultimate evolution, she does scale off HP, but I haven't really seen a damage-based Water Purse, because that makes no sense. Enhancements-wise, though, there's HP, defense, resist, and also some crit resist. Then we have a Wet Griffin over here. He's rocking a Ruin set as well, sitting at, what is that, nearly 60% resist. He has about 80% crit rate as well, and just a gross amount of HP, because he's an HP aggressor. Just a gross amount. So there's an HP gem of 13.5% crit rate and 15% resist. There's another HP gem with 26% crit rate. And then last but not least is another HP gem with 20.5% crit rate. So where's the resist coming from? Okay, 15. Okay, it must be from trinkets as well. Yeah, because this one only has HP crit damage and some resist, so it's coming from the trinkets as well, which is pretty hefty though. I mean, it's not like top tier, but if you guys are rocking low resist, do remember you do get additional resist from your trinkets, man, so don't be slacking on those. Water Bass though, let's take a look at her. HP gem with 24% resist, defense gem, and then an HP gem. I would personally build her HP recovery, or you can also do defense recovery. But this right here, wait, I don't even have to say it. I just don't have to say it. Also water Hades. He's Evo 3. He's just hanging out. Shelly Action, Nike, 2 more Bass, 2 Wet Harleys, a Hana, and then pretty much Flutter at this point. Why so many Wet Nezas, man? You got something to tell us? And yeah, that looks like that pretty much wraps up the Watermon, you guys. Alright, here, coming in next, though, we have his lovely Wood Anu, beginning with the Woodmons over here. So Wood Anu is sitting at 104% crit rate and also 60% resist. No books, but he's super evoed, and he is also the old school triple square master race. That used to be the thing, but as I said before, man, like the triangle slot now is it's pretty hip with the ability for us to farm golems at a higher level and potentially, notice I said potentially, get better gems. But let's take a look at what he has on his intuition set. So 12% resist, 12% resist again, a little bit of crit rate right there, and then an HP gem with 21% attack, 16% resist, and some crit rate. So once again, more of a bruiser-ish build. Obviously, he's going for some survivability here, but my honest assumption is, especially with the books that he has, he's just there for the Super Evolution flex. Moving on, though, we do have a Super Evoed Wood Miho as well, and she has no gems on her, but I do prefer this gem setup, to be honest. I think having a mix in between all the gems is pretty nice, so farming golems isn't as painful, but can still be pretty painful since you need 3 separate gem slots. But yeah, she's a super evo, she's hanging out, not even booked up. And then we have Wood Leo over here. He's super evoed as well, but he does have gems on him. He's rocking 73% resist. Let's take a look at these gems. So defense gem with 17% resist, another defense gem with 23% resist, and then an HP gem with 21.5% attack, not really important, but 13% resist as well. So HP defense, I mean, it does work, even though I feel like his defense is kind of tapering off, so HP might be more important, but with no trinkets and no enhancements, once again, he's just here for the Super Evolution flex. Also a Wood Wild Fang, which I forget exists. She has a similar kind of setup to Water Wild Fang, but it's just very mediocre with that petrification and sleep. Like, petrification on your 3-star skill is just absolutely terrible. But she's just here for the Super Evolution hanging out. And then we have 2 variant Wood Garudas. No books on this bad boy, but he's sitting at 81% crit rate. Let's take a look at these gems. So a defense gem with 29% crit rate. Holy crap, dude. Nice roll. An attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. And then another attack gem with 21.5% crit rate. I mean, still not a bad gem setup for what it is. Obviously, he lacks HP, but there's no trinkets, there's no enhancements on him. This is like MSL back in the day, before we had all this fancy stuff right here, and before we had that and that. It was purely just evolution, gems, congratulations, that's all you get. And then this other one over here is also on a leech set, but there seems to be nothing spicy. It's just here for the flex once again. How many books does he have? 2 Garuda books. Wood Yaksha over here on a broken set. Probably awaiting her Super Evolution if that's ever going to happen. If it does, it'd be kind of weird champ though, since she's single target. I mean, they could make her Super Evolution skill like an AoE, couldn't they? I would actually fix her single target problem. But she's on a broken set. She's rocking 105% crit rate. She has sleep and hunter, so that crit rate is important. So crit rate gem with a little bit of resist, a little bit of crit damage, an HP gem of 20.5% crit rate. Is this last one attack? It is. It is, and it's rocking 20% crit rate. This seems to be the Ancient Angel special, man. Crit rate, HP, attack. But, I mean, her stat distribution isn't super duper grand. Like, her HP's fine, her attack's fine, defense could be better. The main issue that's hurting her, though, is obviously single target. 2 Wood Thors. I'll just pick this one so we can move on. This bad boy over here, I mean, he's a fine Courageous Striker. I do prefer him over not Light Kana, but Wood Kana, because I believe his Courageous Strike is his 3-star skill, while Wood Hana's is her 5, so his Courageous Strike is more reliable. But they're both just weak. I think he may be a little bit beefier than Kana, if I'm recalling correctly. I could be wrong there, but I would prefer Wood Thor over Wood Kana, even though at the end of the day they're both mediocre once you progress. But he has an HP gem. This is the intuition set that's rocking 21% crit rate. Crit rate gem with 21% attack once again, and a little bit of resist, and then a defense gem with attack and crit rate as well. So obviously this gem setup isn't super duper optimal, but even with this unoptimal set, you can see him hitting that max crit rate, which is no excuse out there for you guys with these account reviews rocking these intuition sets that aren't near max. Now I understand gem quality is an issue, but you know, come on. Wood Rudolph sitting over here just as a trophy mon. What's unique about Wood Rudolph, or just the Rudolphs in general though, is the Evo 1 and 2 forms, if I recall, are single target for their 5-star skill, and then once you evolve her to her Evo 3 form, she then becomes an AoE, so she hits all the mons on the field. So at least back in the day for Dark Rudolph, the whole meta was the 2.3 Evo, so you don't fully evolve her, but you get most of the stats from the evolution, because she's still single target, and you could bring her in Titans and have her do some work. I'm not saying like remarkable, but she could be used, because I think she has like attack down a hunter or something, but I could be wrong. Wood Lupin over here, he has double attack down. Lupins look awesome. I would love a Dark Lupin one day, but I gotta pick someone else before I pick him. But he's on a broken set over here, so he has a defense gem with 20% crit rate. Attack gem with 30% resist. Oh my goodness. And then an HP gem with 20.5% crit rate. So crit rate isn't super duper important, especially with his stat distribution. Obviously it's pretty similar to Wood Thor's, but his main selling point, because his double attack down, is just survivability, so it is what it is with that. Wood Pinolo over here, he is on a leech set, but he has like literally no crit rate at all, so I'm just not even going to click on this. Wood Cupid over here, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I feel like I've been betrayed and just absolutely disgusted by Wood Cupid. Like, he needs to change, man. He needs to change. But he's sitting at 51% resist. Let's take a look at the gems though. So HP gem with 14% resist and 13% recovery. A defense gem with 9% resist and nearly 20% recovery. And then another defense gem with 21.5% recovery and a little bit of resist as well. Okay, I understand the Evo 3 Cupid. Totally down with that, man. Especially for the Asher Guide. But this dude went one step further. What is his skills again? Soul Boon, Red, and Shield. Level based shield too. Yeah, I'm gonna head out. He is rocking a Wood Fibian though on a broken set, pushing max resist. Fully booked up too. Let's take a look at these gems. So there's an attack gem of 16% resist and 20.5% defense. HP gem with 21% resist. A little bit of crit rate, though it's not necessary, because look at his stats. I know he's balanced, but he should honestly be a tank type with his stat distribution, like almost 40k HP and not breaking even 2k with your attack or defense, which I understand he's in at 3, but still, like, he should just be a tank. And then another attack gem with 33% resist. He's really trying to get some damage out of him, but you guys can see here with 2 attack gems, even though they're only plus 12, his attack is breaking 4k. There's mons that start out with a base attack of 4k. Like, it's just not meant to be, man. Wood Minicat once again with max resist. Let's take a look at this broken set. So recovery gem with 16% resist. A defense gem with 38% resist. I think that is the highest number I have ever encountered, possibly in an account review, especially not on my own account. I think the highest I've gotten on any sub role is like 36 or 35. One of those two, but not 38% resist on this freaking gem, dude. What the heck? And then there's a HP gem. This has 25% resist, but 38% resist? Literally, that gem and base resist puts him already at 58% resist. Like, what? What? There's also a Wood Cherry over here, but she doesn't have any gems on her, which she is honestly interesting to use in the Nat 3 League if you guys are really interested in the Nat 3 League. I personally don't do it myself. I just keep my same team and I lose and I just move on with life. But to those interested, she can become a big F word over there. My boy Wood Incubus, he did get that recent change from his morale boost to Battle Rush, which, I mean, it's cool. I just wish his animation wasn't dirt nasty slow. But let's take a look at his gems though, because he's rocking 104% crit rate and also 56% resist. So he has an attack gem for his intuition set, shall I say. But his attack gem has 14% resist and 12.5% crit rate. He has a crit rate gem with 13.5% attack and 16% resist. And then another attack gem with nothing really spicy, some defense going on right there. But that's enough to get him on his set. I mean, obviously his stats could be increased, but with no enhancements and no trinkets, it's looking a bit anemic here. We have also a Wood Sphinx, which I've talked about the Sphinxes before. Just don't, man. Just don't. I'm gonna move on though. I mean, he's sitting at 61% resist and 52% crit rate. Obviously, if you wanted some more damage out of him, you would have to buff up that crit rate quite a bit. His stat distribution isn't bad. It's just that Unflinching Strike does nothing after a certain point. The issue with Unflinching Strike is that it does damage. But as soon as you get over a certain threshold early on in Titans, it literally just dies. Like, it just becomes nothing because it plateaus so quickly. He's also rocking another Wood Yorkshire. This is the second one. Yeah, that's Weird Champion over here. A Wood Merlin over here on a Leech set, but he has literally no crit rate. So no damage out of this bad boy. I mean, yes, he can heal, but literally no damage out of him whatsoever. Also a Wood Nightmare on a Pugilist set. This is what mine was on before I actually like janked her set and put it on something else. But she's sitting at 85% resist, so let's take a look at her because she does have some enhancements as well, which consists of resist, crit resist, HP, and defense. So she has a defense gem, and this is a full Pugilist set with 7% resist. Okay, a resist gem, so that's where her resist is coming from. That explains it. And then a HP gem with pretty much nothing that's important for her. Because I was like, dude, what the heck? Like, her defense stat is pretty meaty. HP is very, very weird champ. So how is she rocking that much resist? That's explained. That is explained. I'm hoping that she does make a good comeback though, especially with how things are changing. I wonder if Nightmares will get a ultimate evolution, because she could potentially become a big old smiley face. And look, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil herself, you guys. Wood Kana in the house. She's on a broken set, but she is triple square master race. She's rocking 106% crit rate as well. I mean, her attack is pretty much the same as Thor's. Let me look over here, because I mean, Thor is up here anyways. Thor does have slightly more HP, but yeah, their stat distribution honestly is pretty much the same. It's just that her Crazy Strike is on her 5-star skill, which makes it very, very unreliable in my opinion. But let's take a look at her. Crit rate gem with 13% resist. Defense gem with 20% crit rate and 17% resist, and also an attack gem with 21.5% crit rate. So, I mean, those subs are fine. It's just the real issue is Wood Kana, but you know, she's built better than some of the Kanas I've seen in the past. Another Wood Pinolo here, but this boy does have some crit rate on him, and he's sitting at freaking 70% crit rate, and he doesn't even have a square slot. And no enhancements either, so that's pretty smiley face. But he has a defense gem with 21% crit rate and 13% resist, an attack gem with 26% crit rate, and then another attack gem with 12% crit rate, and that's pretty much it. Some defense too, but with his anemic stats, every percent counts, but it's still just very, very low. Then there's also a Wood Hana over here. Let's go ahead and do his healer check game though, because she's on a broken set. What is that? 51% resist. So he has a recovery gem with 15% resist, another recovery gem, and a defense gem. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel betrayed. I thought Ancient Angel was like big brain, but I'm beginning to think that I've been bamboozled by this character, you guys. What the heck's going on here? I mean, good thing he doesn't do Titans, or maybe he's lying and he like destroyed all the gems on his account, or just took off everything to troll us with. But yeah, very, very interesting here. He has a Wood Arc though, Evo 3 variant. I am jealous. There's another Incubus. There's a Hana, another Hana, a Fib, Kira, Banshee, even a variant Beetle, which isn't hard to get, but he's just hanging out here. A variant Wood John, Wood Yuki, another Wood Hana. So he has plenty of Hanas for Titans. And okay, I guess this is just the variant Mon hangout session over here. Also another Wood Kana. I'm feeling a bit weird champed. Wood Pegasus, Wood Vamp, 85 more Wood Hanas. And there's also an Evo 3 Wood Wendigo. Alright, you guys, hopefully Ancient Angel has finally brought the spice here. So we have already went through and seen the RGB mons, and you know, there was a lot of Evo 3, especially Nat 5s, a whole bunch of just variant Evo 3 Nat 5s, and they weren't, you know, necessarily gemmed up super duper well, but hopefully I see a whole bunch of red stars. I see some enhancement action going on over here. Hopefully this is where things get spicy, or I've been scammed this whole entire account review. But let's go ahead and start off here with this Light Yuki coming in at the very, very top. She is on a triple triangle ruin set. Triple triangle. Super evoed, super ascendant, the whole 9 yards. He even has trinkets on this bad baby girl. I'm not going to click on the trinkets though, because obviously they all add stats. It's just slightly different stats that are added. That obviously if you would not necessarily do a set, but if you're going for a certain appeal, especially in like a Titan situation, certain trinkets would outperform the other trinkets when all the percentages and stuff are calculated at the end for your monster stats. But she's sitting at 94% resist, not 94% resist, take that away, delete that, it never happened. 94% crit rate, you guys. So there's an attack gem of 13% crit damage and 13.5% crit rate. Another attack gem with 26% crit rate. And then a defense gem of 26% crit rate as well, which is perfectly fine, especially for Yuki, because her attack stat is smiley face gaming. It's at 4K with her super ascension, smiley face gaming. But you do want to add some survivability to her, even though her defense isn't anything to scoff at. What's the point of bringing a mon that's doing crowd control and shocking monsters if she dies because she's super duper frail? She dies because somebody somehow was rocking a Dark Pinolo in PvP and it just sneezed on her, she died. You don't want that. You don't want to be that guy or girl. But we can see over here, she's rocking a resist, crit rate, attack, crit damage, and also crit resist for her enhancements. So pretty spicy, very well built to be without a triangle, and not a triangle but without a square, like very well built. And she also has what, a shield breaker super ascension skill, which is a bit of weird champ, but I mean, it could work. It could potentially work in one's favor depending on what you're fighting. Moving on though, we have Light Leo. He is on an intuition set. He does not have a square slot either, but he's sitting at max crit rate. And what is this? What is this? Blessing of the Falling. I was like, is that Unwavering Resolve, which is a different color but the same look. But Blessing of the Falling. So once he dies, he's going to heal the squad for 40% of their HP, which is super duper nice. But he's the whole 9 yards once again. So he has an attack gem with 19% crit rate and 14% resist. HP gem with 22% crit rate. And then an attack gem with 20% crit rate and 15% resist. So HP attack, which once again I do recommend, especially for Light Leo, because he is a bit of a frail boy, even with his super evolution. So rounding out his stats to give him some more survivability while still maintaining damage is superb. And 51% resist too. Okay. And same setup here as he has with Light Yuki, so I won't cover that too much. Next up is Light Loki. He's super evoed, fully booked up as well. He's rocking a broken set, which is sitting at 61% resist. So HP gem of 22% resist, a defense gem of 14% resist, and then also another HP gem. So HP defense, pretty standard for a very tanky build, and that's my go-to as well. And this HP gem has 16% resist, if I didn't mention that already. But yeah, good. No trinkets on him, but obviously trinkets would help round him out even more. Enhancements wise though, it's defense, HP, and then some resist and also crit resist. We have a super evolved Banshee as well. She's sitting at, what is that, 67%? No, 65% crit rate. And I was thrown off by her resist because it just says 85%, like nothing's added to it, which is weird, but maybe the game kind of capped it out because she is on the conviction set, and with her being over the 85%, it's not going to add to it. It's just literally like you just have 85% resist and that's it. Because I know that was a bug before. But on her conviction set, 21% resist on this defense gem. On the HP gem is 22% resist. And then on the defense gem is 16% resist and 25.5% crit rate, which isn't necessary. It is there, but you know, it's just hanging out right here. So she's built more defensively, which is perfectly fine, because the big difference between her and Yuki is, as you guys can see here, not even counting super ascension, but she has like a 1k less attack stat than like Yuki, and she does have more HP. Defense seems to be pretty similar, but with that 1k drop in attack and more HP, and I think her books as well, yeah, 90% shock for 1 turn for her 5-star skill. She's just more of a defensive mon in general, which is fine. We don't need 2 Light Yuki copies or a Light Yuki copy when you could just get another Light Yuki. So yeah. Enhancements wise though, defense, resist, HP, so he's going full on out defensive on her. We have 2 Light Nikes. One is on a Siphon set and one is on a Ruin set. But I'm going to go with the Ruin set one right here. She is on a Gem of Ruin set, as I said before, fully booked up, super evoed, and some enhancements. Let's take a look at these gems though. So defense gem with 19.5% crit rate, another defense gem with 22% crit rate, and then another defense gem. Nothing extravagant, but he is getting some damage out of her, which I'm totally down with. Then next up is Light Cupid over here on a Gem of Healer set. He is sitting at 85% resist. He has trinkets, you guys. He is super ascendant because he has the combat prowess skill, which, interesting, very interesting. And let's take a look at these gems though. So defense gem with 14% recovery and 17% resist, another defense gem with 18% resist, and then another defense gem with nothing really extravagant up there. So he does still have room to kind of tweak him even more, even though he's at max resist, but absolutely beautiful. And enhancements wise, there's defense, HP, crit resist, and resist. Pretty standard here. And you may be wondering though, you know, it's like Light Cupid's a defense aggressor, so why does he have HP? Well, he still needs HP to survive, and it's not being sacrificed by giving him a gem slot of HP which he can't use. So you better get that additional HP somewhere just to help kind of balance him out, because I mean, defense and HP, there is like a scale process that goes on there where there's a certain increase in defense until it drops off, and that's where you need to focus on HP, which is why you see a lot of times that I will recommend HP defense, because defense caps out a lot lower than what HP does to be beneficial. But obviously as a defense aggressor, it doesn't really work that way. You have to kind of circumvent that to provide the most versatility and usability in your mon. And then we have Light Miho over here. She is super evoed, enhanced out too. She's on an intuition set, so she's sitting at what, 94% crit rate and 71% resist. What the fudge? But defense gem has 31% resist and 15% crit rate. An HP gem of 12.5% crit rate and 23% resist. And then another HP gem with 8% resist and 26.5% crit rate. So super duper high resist and crit rate, which defense. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. I know I went over the gems, but why is it that high when that one only has like 8%? And then enhancements wise though, defense, HP, resist, and also crit resist. Okay. And followed by that though, we have a Light Suck on a Pugilist set. She's rocking 70% resist. She is super evoed, but no super ascension sag. So on her Gem of Pugilist set, he has an HP gem up on her with 17% resist. Another HP gem of 17% resist once again, and some crit rate, though it's not important. And then another HP gem of 14% resist. Okay. I'm down with that. I am down. Enhancements wise though is pretty much what we've seen with all the other defensive mons. HP, resist, defense, and also crit resist. Then we have a super ascendant like Hana over here. She is on, I believe, the Gem of Magi set, and she's rocking an HP gem with a fat recovery amount, but no resist on that gem. Another HP gem with 28% resist, and then another HP gem with 6% resist and some defense as well. But she's sitting at 85% resist, which, I mean, she does have that innate boost, but wow. One good resist sub, some resist from there, probably enhancements and trinkets, and she's already at the max, so kudos, man. Enhancements wise though, resist, defense, HP, and also crit resist. And for her super ascension skill, Blessing of the Falling, which means if you kill her, people get healed. So it's not cool, man. It's not cool. Moving forward though, we have a Light John. She is triple diamond master race, but she's rocking 53% resist and also, what is that, 83% crit rate, which spicy. But she has an HP gem with 19.5% crit rate, another HP gem of 14% resist, and then another HP gem with 25% resist. Okay. I was kind of like sitting there like processing things. Enhancements wise, crit rate, crit damage, HP, and defense. So pretty standard here, but he's trying to go for more DPS on her versus like crit resist and resist. And then for her super ascension skill, she has recovery seal, which grants a 70% chance to disable the enemy's recovery for 2 turns. Now this could be problematic in a PvP situation if you know that Amon on the opposite squad has the ability to heal, because that's going to prevent that. So definitely some spice right there. And he's also rocking a Light Hohenheim. She is on a conviction set, rocking 76% resist. In case you guys don't know, Light Hohenheim is a fusion mod, so she is accessible to everyone if you feel like personally terrorizing yourself. Just an FYI here. But there's an attack gem with 22% resist. There's another attack gem with 25% resist. And then there's an HP gem with 26% crit rate up there, which she doesn't necessarily need crit rate. I mean, even though she's an attacker type, but okay, that does work. Enhancements wise though, there's attack, crit damage, crit resist, and more attack. So he's kind of boosting up her already naturally high attack stat, even though she's rocking a weird champ composition to me, because SP Siphon and attack up, but you're an attacker is a bit of a weird champ. Then after that though, we have a lovely Light Garuda over here. He's sitting at what is 62% crit rate, so nothing extravagant on a Bastion set though. Let's take a look at the gems. So an HP gem of 14% resist, some crit rate and attack there, an attack gem of 14.5% crit rate, and then another attack gem of 13% crit rate. So he could be a work in progress, or he's probably just a weird flex, because we do have Light Yuki, and his Light Yuki is super ascended. So with her super ascension, her attack stat is the same as Light Garuda's, but obviously she's a lot easier to book up because she's a Nat 4 versus a Nat 5. Enhancements wise though, there's attack, crit rate, crit resist, and some crit damage as well. Moving forward though, we do have Light Griffin. This one's super ascendant as well. He's rocking a Bastion set with 44% resist. He has an attack gem with 26.5% defense, an HP gem with 23% resist, and then also a defense gem. So Bruiser build on him, perfectly fine. You're trying to get some damage out of him, even though his main selling point isn't damage. I'm perfectly down with that. My Griffin before was on HP attack on Bastion, just to try and get some damage out of him, and he survived just fine because I had 2 Light Yukis on my PvP team, and obviously the aggression was split in between all 3 of them and not just on him or the Yukis in general. But with his super ascension skill, he has Shared Determination, which grants a 50% chance every 2 turns to restore 25% of all allies' SP when attacking. Beautiful. Beautiful. I would have loved for my Light Griffin to have that, but he doesn't. Crit resist, crit rate, attack, resist, and crit damage. So once again, trying to get some more damage out of him while making sure that he can still do his job as a utility mon. And then there's also a Light Sarah over here, which is inferior to her dark counterpart, obviously because of the dark mon's increased natural crit damage. But she is rocking a, what is that, Gem of Armor set? And she's at 100% crit rate as well. So there's a crit rate gem, an attack gem of 13.5% crit rate and defense, and then also, I didn't mean to click that, another attack gem of 12.5% crit rate. So crit rate, attack, maybe trying to round out her stats, but with no trinkets. She's just here for the flex, probably just for world boss or something, I would assume, which is why all his light mons are enhanced and stuff. Light Tina over here with the same treatment. She's on a Valor set though, and I'm not really going to cover her because it's pretty identical over here with this Sarah. So yeah, once again, kind of inferior to her dark counterpart. He has a whole bunch of Light Radices, all on Siphon sets. So this must have been the old school Golems B10 setup, where this was when Golems B10 was sealing, and Light Radice was super duper rare because I think he had like one rebirth before I started playing the game. So it was like if you had him, it was good to go, but if you didn't have him, you know, you had to struggle. But with him being on Siphon sets, it made Golems B10 extremely quick, because she would just sap all the mobs even if one died. Having the other 3 on Siphon sets, they would carry the load of that one fallen brother. But absolutely frail mon, but when put in the right position, he performs super duper well. So I'm not gonna really cover them. We can take a look at his gems though, just to see what he's rocking. But yeah, so he has an attack gem of 17% resist up here. There's another attack gem, nothing really worth mentioning there, and then another attack gem. So full on DPS for these Radices, I'm assuming here, and it's kill or be killed. There's also a Light Benji. He's on a Conviction set. He's rocking 57% resist. Not really going to go into detail about him though, because it is Light Benji, and with no enhancements and no trinkets, I'm assuming it's probably world boss. Light Bolt Wing is on a Conviction set though, and he's sitting at nearly, what is that, 120% crit rate and 43% resist. Let's take a look at these gems though. So there's an attack gem with 19.5% crit rate. There's a crit rate gem, and then also another attack gem of 15% resist and 13% crit rate. Okay, I got you. Enhancements, crit rate, HP, crit damage, and also attack. No super evolution, and of course no super ascension, but not bad for, you know, a non-Titan Andy, I will say. He does have an Evo 3 Light Gen, which I am kind of jealous of. I recently pulled a Light Gen, but obviously mine is nowhere near Evo 3. But he's on a gem of Siphon set, Triple Square Master Race. So there's an attack gem, another attack gem with 21% resist, and another attack gem. So he's just here probably just for the flex and just have gems on him, because we can see if double hunter with a base crit rate of 20% is obviously very unacceptable. There's also a Light Fennec over here, which is once again a very great mon. Not super duper amazing here, but still a great mon if you are in need of a light nuker and this is all you can get your hands on. But Fennec is on a Gem of Ruin set, rocking 101% crit rate and 28% resist. So there's an attack gem of 15% resist. There's a crit rate gem, and also another attack gem of 19.5% crit rate as well. So pretty spicy there. Pretty spicy. Very simple build, but also very effective. We also have Light Dark Ganon, I believe, which is the light version of Dark Gatito. So he's essentially like the great value version of Dark Gatito, in my opinion. But you know, don't come after me. One man's opinion. But he's on a Gem of Ruin set as well. He does have one trinket to, I guess, try and boost up his attack, I believe. Yeah. But let's take a look at these gems though. So there's a crit rate gem with 20% attack up there and a little bit of resist. An attack gem of 7.5% crit rate, And then another attack gem with 22% crit rate, which is a good roll, especially for a ruin gem. So yeah, I'm down with that. 2 light Sherlocks, dude. I only have 1. I'm shaking and crying right now. Absolutely shaking and crying. But this one's over here is on an intuition set. She's rocking a max crit rate, though it's not super duper necessary because with her kit, with double exposed weakness, her main goal is to obviously expose the enemy's weakness, you guys. But let's take a look at the gem of intuition set. So he has a crit rate gem on her, a crit damage gem, and then an attack gem with 21.5% crit rate and 12% resist. Let me think about that. Yeah, I don't get it. I do not get it. Obviously for world boss, but I don't get it because she has literally no survivability and some damage, but exposed weakness isn't there for damage. It's to set it up for damage. So weird champing it. I'm gonna go ahead and skip this other one though, but he has 2 variant ones, so I think we had a capture festival for Sherlock at some point in time before they made her like, oh, she's too OP, you have to pay for her now. So maybe he kept those, or he just got lucky with getting her. There's also a light Jack though. She's on a broken set, rocking 106% crit rate as well. Let's take a look at these gems because she's fully booked up. So defense gem of 27% crit rate, an attack gem of 15% crit rate and 15% resist, and also a crit rate gem. So crit rate, attack, defense. Not the world's worst because her 5-star skill is dependent on crit because of it being Hunter. And I mean, Light Jack is cool, especially if you don't have any wave clearers at all. It's just that she's super duper frail. Super duper frail. There's also a light Rebittal, which I have never seen built to this extent, but he's rocking double vengeance. But he's single target, which is why I've never seen him built to this extent. But he's sitting at 65% crit rate and also 62% resist. So let's take a look at this broken set. So there's an attack gem of 12% resist and 19% crit rate. There's also another attack gem of 17% resist and 19.5% crit rate. Is that just a copy of that gem? What the heck? And then a defense gem of 33% resist. So trying to make sure that he can take a blow for vengeance to activate, but also like not just die, because if he dies, vengeance is of no use. But you know, it's kind of sad that he's single target though, because I think his design is cool. It's just very, very impractical. I don't know what to say about this. All 3 of these are on ruin. This one is on a terrible ruin set, but we're gonna act like this one doesn't. It just doesn't exist, okay? It does not exist. So fully booked up. Let's take a look at these gems though, because it's sitting at, well, she's sitting at 101% crit rate. So crit rate gem, crit damage gem, and then an attack gem. I mean, with the added bonus from the crit damage, even though her attack stat is a little bit anemic, her damage should still be fine. Moving on though, we are over here to Light Birdie, who once again is fully booked up. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this at all, but I definitely have, of just the amount of books that he has in all of these Light and Dark mods. He's like, RGB, yeah, they're here hanging out here. There's a couple of ones that are cool, but Light and Dark, I'm throwing down at the playground. So Light Birdie though is on a Gem of Life set, rocking 106% crit rate and 49% resist. So there's an attack gem of 20% resist and 14.5% crit rate. There's a crit rate gem of 23% resist. And then there's also an HP gem with 27.5% crit rate and very, very little bit of resist. But even with that very, very little bit of resist, it's still rocking 49% resist. But I'm curious as to why the Gem of Life set on Light Birdie. Because he has Predator and Morale boost. I know Dark Birdie, I believe, is the HP aggressor, but also a Light Wendigo, which I still don't have, and I won't be selecting with the Light and Dark Nat 4 selection card because I got other plans for that. Maybe for the casual account. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. But not a square slot in sight, but still rocking 101% crit rate. Let's go ahead and take a look at these gems. So there's an attack gem of 20.5% crit rate. There's an HP gem of 20% crit rate and 13% crit damage, and also another attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. So good rolls into the attack gem And with the HP there, HP attack, he can't do crit rate attack, but not only does he hit the max crit rate, but he is adding some survivability to him by giving him some more HP, because we can see that his HP isn't bad, but his defense set is it's a bit low. Moving on though to Light Valk, she is sitting at 85% resist. Once again maxed out just like Banshee was, I guess because of the conviction set. Kind of going past the 85% threshold, the game is like, no, you have 85% resist. But HP gem on her with 14% resist, a defense gem with 22% resist, and then another HP gem with 22% resist. So HP defense, I'm down with that. Enhancements wise though, there's defense, HP, and also some resist. Okay, I'm down with that. Light Slime Soldier, he's on a ruin set. Once again, this has to be world boss. I can't see anyone using these guys. Not that they're terrible. I mean, most of them are, but with them being single target and just not very good, it's like, why would you do this to yourself? But anyways, on the Gem of Ruin set, rocking 96% resist. Not 96% resist. I actually can't do math. It's 106% crit rate. My bad, dude. My bad. But anyways, let's look at the gems. So a crit damage gem with 12.5% crit rate and 20.5% attack. And an attack gem with 19% crit rate. And then a crit rate gem with 21% attack and 13% crit damage. Okay. Okay. Then we have a Light Siegfried over here. He's sitting at 74% resist. And he sacrificed his gem quality to gem up a Light Slime Soldier instead. The heck? But anyways, there's an attack gem on him with 14.5% crit rate. There's another attack gem with 21% crit rate and 8% resist. And then we have another attack gem with 6% resist and 18.5% crit rate. So definitely some work that could be done to him. And obviously with the gems that he does have, he can make him better if he wanted to. Light Medusa though on a broken set, but she is rocking max crit rate because I do believe she is crit rate reliant, which kind of hurts her performance, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, she's sitting at 101% crit rate and 23% resist. So there's an attack gem with 12.5% crit rate and 18% crit damage. There's another attack gem with 14% crit rate and 23% resist. And then a crit rate gem with nothing really extravagant up there. I mean, there's some crit damage and attack, but it is what it is. Moving forward though, we do have Light Shiva over here, super ascended. So straight up decked out over here, trinkets the whole 9 yards. But he's sitting at a whopping 33% resist, which is a bit of a weird champ. But also, what is that? 97% crit rate. Let's take a look at these gems. So HP gem, because he's on a ruin set with 21% crit rate. Another HP gem with 13% resist and 15% crit rate. And then another HP gem with 28.5% crit rate, which is pretty spicy, and 7% resist. So this is like damage build Shiva, like straight up damage. Like that's all he wants on him, because he also has Fiery Resolve as a super ascension skill. I have never seen this before. But enhancements wise though, there's crit damage and obviously HP and some defense, because even though he's an HP aggressor, you still want to kind of round out his stats as I've stated before. And then we also have a Light Mona over here. Light Mona is on a ruin set as well. She's rocking, what is that, 83% crit rate and 27% resist. So maybe she's more attack orientated as well, because she has everything done to her. But let's take a look at the gems though. So there's a defense gem with 12% crit damage and 19% crit rate. Another defense gem with 14% resist and 15% crit rate. And then another defense gem with 13% crit damage and 20% crit rate. So very, very intriguing here. Enhancements wise though, pretty similar to Shiva, where there's HP and also defense mixed in with some crit rate and also some crit damage. But with her recent update, she is definitely a lot better than what she was, so I'm totally down with that. Then there's also Light Nightmare. She's on a pugilist set, rocking 52% resist. No trinkets on her, but she is enhanced. So let's take a look at this pugilist set here. So defense gem with 15% resist, an HP gem with 16% resist, and then another defense gem of 13% resist. So solid rolls into the pugilist gem rolls, which is obviously getting a pugilist set to even work or going to good rolls. Obviously obtaining one that's even useful is hard in itself, so I can't front him too much with that because it is a bit difficult, but I am definitely down with this build here. Enhancements wise though, once again similar to the other guys, defense, HP, crit resist, and also some resist. So pretty dope. Then we have a Evo 3 fully maxed out Super Ascended, you guys. Super Ascended to the moon, Light Odin, who recently has made a very good appearance because of her swapping of her skills, so she's even better than what she was before here. And with her Super Ascension skill, what is that? Protection of the Fallen. So if she somehow dies, everyone gets protection of the Fallen buff for 1 turn, which can be pretty useful, but it's like, what killed her and how is everyone else still alive? But absolutely disgusting amount of HP on her, just absolutely disgusting. If she does get a super, not a super evolution, but ultimate evolution though, we can see here with Super Ascension, she does have pretty similar HP to Odin, so not Odin, but also Dark Arthur, so they might be in competition, you guys. But let's take a look at the gems though. So on a Gem of Life set, for his HP gem, there's 25% crit rate and 6% resist, which isn't that much. Another HP gem of 29% defense and some crit rate, a little bit of resist. And then once again another HP gem of 22% crit rate and 15% resist. So even with trinkets though, that would explain why her resist isn't super duper high. So I mean, obviously tweaking that subs would make her perform better in terms of resist, but still pretty solid. There's also a Light Snow White. She's on a broken set and she's rocking 72% resist. Let's take a look at these gems. So HP gem with 26% resist. Defense gem with 31% resist. These resist rolls, man. What the heck? And then another HP gem with 15% resist. Okay. Moving forward though, we do have a Light Zephyros. He is basically just hanging out here. He's level 60 Evo 3. I believe mine is in the same boat. He's just been hanging out because he's not a terrible mon, but if you have like Light Griffin or someone else, it's like, why would I bring Light Zephyros? Why would I do it? Next up though is Light Thor. He is on a broken set, but he is rocking 106% crit rate and 24% resist. So let's take a look at these gems over here. Defense gem, nothing extravagant. Crit rate gem, and then another defense gem of 19.5% crit rate and 15% resist. Okay, so that one does have a little bit of crit rate up there. I didn't mention that, but I was like, wait a minute, why is his crit rate that high if he doesn't have any crit rate on one of these gems? Enhancements wise though, there's HP, crit resist, and HP. He's an interesting mon in my opinion. He was very scary when I was a newer player, just because I didn't really have any way to combat him because of his decent amount of HP, and his defense stat is pretty acceptable as well. So he was kind of terrifying to face, but obviously now things have changed, and you know, I just make sure that he dies before he can do anything. Which, taking a look at his skills, 70% chance for shock for 2 turns does suck if it is applied. That does suck. We got a Light Mr. C. He is on a Gem of Healer set, rocking 26% resist and what is that, 49% crit rate. So weird champion over here. He does have trinkets, but let's take a look at them. So attack gem of 15% crit rate and 15% resist. Another attack gem of 13.5% crit rate and 13.5% defense. And then another attack gem of 8% resist. So nothing too extravagant, just triple attack for whatever reason. Maybe he's a work in progress, or once again, maybe he's just a flex. And then there's 2 more like Sarah's here. They're all somehow triple square master race, probably just from capturing them when her event was going on. But obviously there's rocking max crit rate for, I'm assuming, world boss. There's a Dark Ganon here. We've already went ahead and took a look at him before, but this is a copy of him. He does have a Light Merlin, but he's Evo 3 with no gems on him at the moment. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Also a Light Bast. She is rocking max resist though, and And you guys, she has a shield breaker for her super ascension skill and the gem of magi set. So let's take a look at this. So there's a defense gem with some recovery and 15% resist on it. A HP gem of 30% resist on a gem of magi or magi, whatever the heck you want to call it. Holy crap, that is a lucky roll. And then another HP gem with some recovery and 16% resist. Enhancements wise though, she's rocking resist, defense, HP, and also some crit resist. That is dope, dude. Absolutely dope. I would be down for light bass. Perfectly down for light bass with immunity and SP siphon. Heck yeah, dude. Slide her over, brother. But then also a light Wukong. He's rocking 76% resist. And then also, what is that? 82% crit rate. Super ascended as well. He has shield. Just shield, you guys, which grants a 20% chance to grant the user a shield proportional to their own max attack power for 1 turn, which probably explains why his attack stat is super duper buff, because even though he's a tank type with decently high HP, it's crazy to me that his attack is almost 3k and his defense is right behind it. Very, very strong stat wise. But let's take a look at his gem of intuition set. So there's an attack gem with 22.5% defense, 18% resist, and 13.5% crit rate on that bad boy. Another attack gem with 14.5% crit rate and 16% resist. And then another attack gem with 21% resist and 13.5% crit rate. So triple attack it seems to be. What does he have? Morale boost and shock. I've actually never thought about building him that way. You guys can't see me, but I'm like over here like rubbing my chin like, how does this work? How does this perform? Is my whole life a lie? Moving forward though, we do have a light Imperato on a pugilist set with 64% resist. That's pretty damn good for a pugilist set, you guys. Like, getting a set, like I said it before, is one thing, but getting a set that works, well, that's impossible. It's just not possible. But there's an HP gem. It's flat, but you get a pass. 15% resist up there though. Another HP gem, once again flat. You no longer get a pass, and this account review is over. Alright, JK. This one's rocking 16% resist though, and nearly 20% attack. And then another HP gem with 8% resist and 20% crit damage. This is probably him just being like, dude, I just want to finish this set off because it's just not possible. Because, you know, due to the constraints, even though he has superb gem luck, maybe he was just like, dude, let's just do this, man. Let's just do this. Enhancements wise though, there's crit resist, HP resist, and also defense. And he does have trinkets as well. 1 Imperato book at the moment. Then following behind that is Light Pixie. Doesn't seem to be anything extravagant on her though, because she's sitting at, what is that, 45% resist. Maybe for the Astro Guide, or maybe he's just hanging out here with a Light Pixie for one day actually attempting to do Titans on this account, but we will never know. There's also a Light Venus over here. She is sitting at 85% resist. She is decked out with trinkets and enhancements as well, so let's take a goo at her. So a HP gem with 12% resist, another HP gem with 22% resist and 13.5% defense, and then another HP gem with 15% resist. Okay. And then enhancements, resist, crit resist, defense, and also HP. I am picking up what you're putting down, man. Light Verde is over here rocking a broken set as well, but she's sitting at 59% resist and 53% crit rate. No skill books into her, but let's go and take a look at the gems. HP gem with 16% resist and 20% crit rate. Defense gem with 29% resist. Beautiful. And then an HP gem with 14% resist. Okay. Okay. I mean, she's fine. Don't get me wrong, you guys. Like, she's fine. Obviously, her stats aren't super duper high. But if you were trying to pick up a defense mon for PvP or clan versus clan because you don't have that many mons because you haven't been playing for a while, if you can pick her up, go ahead and pick her up. I mean, an SP Siphoner in general is super duper useful, so don't feel bad if you're rocking your Light Verde. There's Light Mildew. I I haven't seen one built up, at least from what I can recall. But he's rocking, what is that, 80% resist on a broken set. So HP gem of 13% recovery and 13% resist. Another HP gem of 14% resist. And then another HP gem of 23% resist. Triple HP. Okay. I was like, is that adrenaline? Why would he have him on triple HP if he doesn't need all the HP? But it makes sense. There's also Light Gatito over here with 56% resist. Maybe he was being used in a Tower of Chaos or being planned to use in a Tower of Chaos. And by Tower of Chaos, I'm meaning the Elemental one, because that's the only viable way I could see him being used here. But he's here hanging out. There's also another Light Nike, which I believe is his third. Yep, his third. I only have two, so weird flex, but okay, buddy. Light Poseidon. We have a Light Kiki. Light, what's his name? Seedler. Some Tinas. There's a Camilla. Sphinx. Light Vamp. Also with SP Siphon. Light Enkidu. Light Yaksha. Light Tiger. Light Tanya, which Tanya hasn't really come around that much, to be honest. Like, I have her, but she seems to like never come around. Light Sura. I'm just picking out the ones that are interesting to me, that I haven't really seen too much. Even a Light Harley, man. Another Light Suck. Light Pegasus, and that seems to be it for the Light Mons, you guys. He has a whole bunch of these guys. I'm not sure what's going on, but I won't judge. Another Light Hana as well. So let's go ahead and move on to the Dark ones next. Alright, so we're starting off here with some Dark Mona action. Let's see if he has any spice with her. She seems to be on a Gem of Armor set. She's fully booked up, super evoed. She has trinkets up there and enhancements. I am actually surprised here. Let's take a look at the gems though. So for Gem of Armor, there's an attack gem of 26.5% crit rate gem. And then another attack gem with a little bit of crit rate and also some crit damage. So I guess the main benefit here is that added crit damage is not technically a ruin set, but 15% defense is pretty chunky, especially if you consider that Dark Mona doesn't have that much defense. But I'm not sure where he's using her at other than World Boss, because he has a lot of other mons at his disposal. Enhancements wise though, she's rocking crit damage, crit rate, crit resist, attack, and some more resist. So pure damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Then we got Dark Wildfang over here. She is on an intuition set. She is fully enhanced, super evoed, booked up as well. Let's take a look at these gems. So there's 12% crit rate gem with attack. There's another attack gem with 21% crit rate, 11% crit damage, and then 16% resist. And then another attack gem of 13% crit rate and 16% crit damage. So he's well over what Stalker needs in order to hit his crit requirement, but it's literally just this easy for like a mon like Dark Wildfang to hit the crit cap. So no excuses out there, boys and girls, with your freaking Dark Wildfangs that you're just doing dirty because she just lacks crit rate. There's literally no excuse, man. Like, don't be that guy. And enhancements, she has attack, crit, resist, attack. He could literally take that crit rate off and you wouldn't see anything change with her. Resist and crit damage. Like, it's good. It's good. Then moving on though, we have Dark Banshee. Once again, super evoed, fully booked up here. She's on a broken set, but she's rocking 61% resist. So HP gem with 16% resist and 20.5% crit rate. Another HP gem of 16% resist and 14% crit rate. And then a defense gem of 22% resist. What? What? Aggression, HP, attack power becomes proportional to own max HP. You looking kind of sus, my dude. You looking kind of sus right now. I mean, I ain't saying Dark Banshee is like top tier or anything, but you looking kind of sus, man. Like, you can get away with the defense enhancements over here, man, but what is going on here, bro? And then moving on, Dark Yuki, she once again has the whole 9 yards. So I think instead of making it super redundant and saying, oh look, he's super evoed, look, she's booked up, etc., I'm just going to just ignore that going forward. You guys will see if she's super evoed and fully booked up or not. But anyways, Dark Yuki is on a pugilist set. She has a flat gem on her of HP with 15% resist. Another flat HP gem of 17% resist, and then a defense gem of 17% resist and 21.5% crit rate. She's rocking 66% resist. Her HP could be higher, but that's because she has flats up there. And enhancements wise, there's resist, HP, and defense pretty much. Also some crit resist. He does have some trinket action on her as well. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe it's the gems that are holding her back in terms of her HP. But she's still pretty good, especially on a pugilist set. I mean, I don't know how many guys out there can actually build super duper usable pugilist sets. So don't be talking no trash now. Then next up though is Dark Suck. Once again, she has the whole entire works, as I'll call it, but no trinkets on her. She is sitting at 60% resist and also somehow, what is that, 65% crit rate. So a defense gem with 22% resist and 13.5% crit rate. There's another defense gem with 16% resist and 20% crit rate. And then an HP gem with 21% crit rate and 13% resist. Enhancements, we have the whole 9 yards here, the crit resist, defense, HP resist, and probably a HP percentage once he is done. So you guys should have a good understanding of how he ends up gemming up his mon. So if you haven't understand that now, just rewatch the video. Make sure you just jot down notes or something for enhancements, but it's pretty standard at this point. But yep, she looks good. And then there's a Dark Hana. She is super ascended as well, and she has, what is this? Unwavering resolve, so 40% chance of her restoring 20% of her own HP. That is pretty spicy. She's on a broken set though, and she's rocking max resist, so she has a defense gem with 20% resist, another defense gem with 22% resist, and then another defense gem with 19% resist. Crit rate isn't really super duper high, so I didn't mention it, but yeah, she's packing and stacking, dude. She has the works on her. I'm just going to refer to it as the works. Moving on though, we have Dark John on an intuition set over here. Rocking 84%, what is that? 84% crit rate and 37% resist. But she doesn't really have too much damage from her because her attack stat is super duper like anemic. So, I am confusion. Anyway, she has a defense gem with 20% crit rate, maybe it just rolled into it, and then 15% resist. An HP gem of 13% crit rate and 15% resist. And another defense gem with 21% crit rate and a little bit of resist. So maybe that's what yeah. Plus the set and just having decent crit rolls is just how that panned out. So never mind, that makes sense. Dark Boltwing over here is also on a pugilist set. What? But he's sitting at 51% resist. Let's take a look at the gems. So defense gem of 17% resist, another defense gem of 18% resist, and then an HP gem with 22% crit rate and a little bit of resist. I mean, I guess he does have morale boost, but is he somehow bringing like Dark Boltwing into PvP, and he now has the sap/stun meta? Like, what's happening here, dude? What's happening? I'm just gonna skip the enhancements, by the way. We've been going on long enough, you guys. Even if you made it this far in the video, if you made it this far, you're probably asleep. But we've been going on long enough with this. But anyways, we have a 1 out of 55 million Dark Sea Stars possibly. This one's super ascendant though, so we'll focus on her and just skip to Dark Miho afterwards. But we'll take a glance at the other one. But she's rocking 110% crit rate and 46% resist. So she is basically DPS, I'm assuming DPS built Dark Sea Star. She also has Unwavering Resolve as well. Let's take a look at the gems. So there's a defense gem with 14% resist, 11% crit damage and 14% crit rate. Another defense gem with 21% crit rate, and then a crit rate gem with 21% resist. I was like, there's no way her crit can be that high, and she doesn't have a crit rate gem. So he's going more for damage on her, which, I mean, I understand, even though, you know, I say it all the time. Your boy personally just builds his aggressors like triple of that stat, but it's up to you. It's up to you. He at least at some point in times, appears to know what he's doing. I'll go ahead and say that. But yeah, she's good. Then another Dark Sea Star. This one seems to be more resist orientated, and her defense is 1k higher. Let's take a quick peek. So defense. Okay, yeah, so she's triple defense, but wow, that's only a 1? I mean, she is super ascendant, but I was like, that's only a 1k increase? And this one doesn't even have trinkets on her either? Moving forward, though, we have 2 Dark Mihos. I'm going to go with this one right here. I'm going to go with the lowly Dark Miho. She's on a ruin set, though, so let's take a look at the gems, because she's sitting at, what is that, 67% crit rate and 30% resist. Nothing extravagant, but it's not like Dark Miho is top tier anyways. She was maybe back in the day, but that day is no longer here. HP gem, though, with 15% crit rate and 8% resist. Another HP gem of 14% crit rate and 15% crit damage, as well as 6% resist. And then another HP gem of 21% crit rate and 6% resist. Okay. I mean, nothing extravagant. It's just Dark Miho possibly doing some damage. I was just trying to catch this dude slipping. 20.5% on that gem. And then 18.5% crit rate on this gem. And 13% over on this one. I'm trying to catch him slipping, man. So far, it has not worked. Moving on, though, we do have Dark Impurito. It looks like he has a book for him as well. Also on a lovely ruin set, and he's over the max crit rate threshold. So he's at, 101%. So we have an attack gem. Nothing extravagant here, but 14% crit rate. Another attack gem of 13.5% crit rate. A little bit of defense. And then a crit rate gem of 20.5% attack. Pretty chunky added attack, but pretty standard here. Crit rate, attack. He does have battle rush, so he can potentially heal himself or make himself stay alive long enough to deal out some nasty damage. So very, very fair setup, I shall say. Moving on, though, we have a Dark Indy, aka Indra. He is on a leech set. He does have, what is that, Devastating Strike, I do believe. Yep, that is what mine has as well. Well, at least one of them. But there's no square start on him. Not a big deal, especially if you just you just run him crit damage, attack, bro. Like, super duper easy to get him on ruin like that, dude. Like, don't even worry about it, bro. But yeah, he's on a leech set. At this point in time, I'm convinced that Ancient Angel was just trolling. He's like, I have a Dark Indra, but look how bad he's built. So HP gem on him with 12% crit rate and 18% resist. A attack gem with 13% resist. And then another attack gem. I'm just not even going to read that, because you guys have seen from all the other mons that we went through, he could literally take gems off these other mons and put it on Dark Indra and have him be super duper like amazing. But that's not how he rolls, man. He's like, I don't do Titans, even though I have one of the best creative strikers in the game. I'm just going to make sure that he makes you cuss when you see him. He even has 2 Indra books. You know how many Indra books I have? At least 0. Yeah. Moving on, though, we do have a Dark Lupin, which I would love a Dark Lupin one day. He's just not super duper high priority because I just think he looks cool. But, he has the works going on here, and he's sitting at, what is that, 92% crit rate, a little bit of resist. But let's take a look at the gems, though. So, HP gem of 13.5% attack and 13.5% crit rate. There's another HP gem with 27.5% crit rate and 6% resist. What? And then an attack gem with 12.5% crit rate. Okay, so maybe he's just filling slots at this point. Maybe it's just for world boss, I'm assuming, because HP attack on an attacker type, especially like Dark Lupin, doesn't make much sense to me. Like, I would even say Bruiser would be acceptable, but double HP attack? That's weird champ territory. Moving forward, though, we do have a Dark Sandwraith over here. He has the works, as I like to put it, on a Bastion set. So nothing extravagant stat-wise, but we'll take a peek at the gems anyways. So there's an attack gem on him for his Bastion set. Another attack gem of 19% crit rate. And then another attack gem. So nothing too extravagant on him. I'm assuming the thought process behind this was to give him some HP, but mainly have him hide behind a shield. But we know that he's not being used, so I digress. He also has a Dark Xiao Jing, and once we're done here, we're going to count all the light and dark Nat 5s that Ancient Angel has. Obviously, fusion mons don't count, and contract mons don't count either, but we got to count it up because we've been in here already, boys. But anyways, for Dark Xiao Jing, who is Evo 3, he's sitting at roughly, what is that, 69% crit rate. Let's see, though. On the Gem of Ruin set, he has an attack gem of 13% crit rate. Another attack gem of 20.5% crit rate. And then another attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. So still pretty high. I mean, you can pull off triple attack. It's not bad, especially on a ruin set. It's just that pulling off any set without a crit rate gem and you're not on intuition can definitely be a challenge. Then we have a Dark Sarah over here. She's also on a pugilist set with like literally no crit rate, but super duper high resist. So I don't really see the point in focusing too much on her because her crit rate should be high because she's just a wave clearer. But very interesting setup here, I would say. I mean, we could take a peek though. So 17% resist on that attack gem of pugilist. There's also 18% resist on that another attack gem of pugilist. And then there's another attack gem with 13% resist. So some hefty rolls into resist though, because 17, 18, that's like 35. And then that is like, what is that? 48%? 48% if I'm doing math in my head correctly. If not, don't at me because I didn't use a calculator, bro. For simple addition. Then we also have a Dark Tina over here. She's on a pugilist set, but she is rocking max crit, which in my opinion, I do think Dark Tina is slightly superior than Dark Mini Sarah, just because her books are just bonkers, bro. Like, her books are insane. Like, do you see her Hunter? 35% damage increase? Like, what the fudge? Anyways, so for attack gem, she has 20% crit rate up there and 6% resist. There's another attack gem with 17.5% crit rate and 11% resist. And then a crit rate gem with 14.5% attack. So no resist on that. Obviously, you can't have a crit rate sub on a crit rate gem, but that's still pretty good, dude. Then we also have Dark Zephyros over here, which I have never used, but we won't talk about that. He's sitting at 71% resist on a pugilist set, however. So let's take a look at the gems. So he has an attack gem with 11% crit damage and 20% resist. There's another attack gem with 14% crit rate and 17% resist. And then yet again, another attack gem with 13% resist and 15% crit rate. So triple attack Dark Zephyros. I don't think he's using them. I mean, he's booked up, but he ain't using him. There's no way. Then we got Dark Leo over here. He is on a Gem of Healer set, I do believe. He's rocking 69% resist. Let's see though. So there's an attack gem with 33% resist. Quite a high roll into resist right there, dude. Beautiful. An HP gem with 14% resist and 13.5% crit rate. And then also another attack gem with 15% resist. I mean, honestly, a very reasonable build. I'm not saying that he needs super duper high crit rate, even though his like attack is pretty much built for it. But he is a bit fragile with that like 2k defense stat, so it's kind of understandable that you at least want him to survive. I don't think he's like super duper like, oh my goodness, dude, I gotta pick Dark Leo for the light and dark Nat 4 selection card. Like it's not like that. It's like if you pull him, it's like, okay, that's cool. Hopefully I can use him somewhere. I mean, at least he does decent damage, but it's nothing like super duper like, oh my goodness, bro. But moving on though, we have Dark Thor. How the mighty have fallen due to just other mons being superior than him, but we won't talk about that. We're going to talk about the gems on him though, because he's on a Gem of Ruin set. He's rocking 103% crit rate and 41% resist. So there's a crit rate gem with 8% resist up there. There's an attack gem with 19.5% crit rate. And then there's another attack gem with 25% resist and 12.5% crit rate as well. Not bad. I mean, Dark Thor is out of the meta, as I said before, but not bad. Then moving on though, we do have a Dark Snow White, which is kind of odd to say because it's like Dark White. What? That's basically how her name goes, so you know, no judgment there. But anyway, she's on a Valor set and she's sitting at 114% crit rate. So she has an attack gem of 19.5% crit rate, as well as 20.5% defense, another attack gem of 14% crit damage and 21.5% crit rate once again. So he basically just copied this gem over. And then we have a crit rate gem with some crit damage and a little bit of attack up there as well. So, I mean, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. There's also some more Dark Monas, and these two seem to be on siphons, but we won't really pay attention to those because we've already covered at least the best Dark Mona potentially, but they seem to both have fairly high crit rate. Yeah. Moving on, though, we do see a Dark Beetle over here. He is on a Gem of Zeal set, and he's sitting at 105% crit rate and 26% resist. So there's a crit rate gem with a little bit of resist and 21% attack. We have an attack gem with 12% crit damage and 20% crit rate. And then we have an HP gem with 17% resist and 18.5% attack. I mean, I have a Dark Beetle. It's not like I like, oh my goodness, I had to have him. It was more of the Astro Guide, so it's one of those weird flexes, but okay. And then we also have a Dark Bulby over here. She's sitting at 112% crit rate and 46% resist. And let's see how she's built. So she has a crit damage gem on her, which I don't understand. There's an attack gem on her with 21% resist and 20.5% crit rate, and then a crit rate gem with 13% crit damage and 25% resist as well. I mean, obviously she's a Titan's Mon, but her having that crit damage for her exposed weakness, sometimes I question this guy, you guys. Sometimes I just don't know about him, and I pray that he gets the help that he needs. Moving forward, though, he has 2 Dark Mandys. There's one on a Conviction set and then one on a Protection set. I'm just going to do the Protection set instead because the Conviction doesn't even have that much high of resist to warrant the Conviction set. But I digress. But she's over 100% crit rate over here. And let's see what she's working with. So there's a crit rate gem, a little bit of resist. There's an attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. And also a crit damage gem with 6% resist and 18.5% crit rate. So it works, but also kind of doesn't work because her base attack is still extremely low. Obviously, if you had trinkets on her and her enhancements were maybe complete more, because that attack percentage is super low, that would probably even out, but that would explain that. Dark Beth, he is on a Valor set, triple square master race. I wonder what he's rocking though. Is it crit rate attack? There's an attack gem with 21% crit rate and 14% crit damage. Another attack gem of 19.5% crit rate and 7% damage. Yep, I called it, boys. I called it. Crit rate attack. Because there's a crit rate gem with 12% crit damage and 13% resist. Fully booked up once again. Variant, as I stated before, is probably World Boss or Ancient Angel just has issues. Moving forward, though, we do have Dark Gatito over here on a Ruin set. Once again, the whole works as much work he can have on him, but he is hitting max crit. Let's take a look at the gem set. So crit rate gem, 18% crit damage up there, a little bit of attack and resist. There's an attack gem of 11% crit damage and 21% resist. And then there's another attack gem of 20.5% crit rate up there. So overall, good rolls into a Ruin set. Like, don't get me wrong, us seeing all of these like crit rate Ruin sets or crit rate attack Valor sets isn't anything to scoff at. Like, this actually takes time to get decent subs to get a decent Ruin set going. So don't get kind of blindsided by Ancient Angel's account here because it's not that easy. It's not impossible, but it's not easy either. And then moving on, though, we do have a Dark Canneling on his Zeal set as well. He does have nearly 40% resist though, so let's see what he's working with here. So there's an attack gem of 8% resist and 13% crit rate. There's a crit rate gem, obviously, with 15% attack and 16% resist. And then there's a HP gem with 15% resist and then 13.5% crit rate. So crit rate isn't a necessary stat for him. Like, I understand that he's a dark type, but curse, regardless of what element that you have, does not scale off crit rate. Now, with him being a dark type, the same as Dark Hades, obviously there's benefits to having more crit rate up here, but having a crit rate gem on him is by no means necessary at all. So don't feel like you have to build all of your curse mons. If you're building any curse mons, which I question why, unless you just miraculously have like Dark Hades, and maybe like a Dark Canneling or something. But if you were to build them, just take note that attack is what curse scales off of, not crit rate combined with attack. It's literally just attack. Then there's also an Evo 3 Dark Rudolph over here, once again on a broken set. She's probably rocking crit rate attack, or looks like it's probably crit rate HP attack. So there's an attack gem with 14% crit rate, HP gem with 17% resist and 27% crit rate, and then a crit rate gem. Yep, called it. I saw the stats, dude. I was like, yep, called it. He does have a multitude of dark seedlers. We've already covered Dark Thor though, but we could take a quick peek at him once again on another ruin set here, rocking max crit. So dude is mad flexing. And then we have a couple of Dark Sea Stars. They all seem to be on broken sets, but they're all sitting at pretty much, besides one of them, they're all sitting at pretty much max crit rate, fully booked up, the whole works as I said before. So HP gem of 21% crit rate, an attack gem of 20.5% crit rate and 8% resist, so very little resist up there, and then a crit rate gem. So that was crit rate, attack, HP. Once again, world boss fodder. Moving forward though, we do have a Dark Wukong who's sitting at max resist. He's also on a pugilist set, and he does have some enhancements on him as well. So there's an HP gem, flat HP gem with 27% resist and 14% crit rate. There's a defense gem with 29% resist. Holy crap, that is some lucky rolls into these freaking pugilist gems, dude. And then there's another HP gem of 14% resist and 13.5% crit rate. So 27, wow, 29 into a pugilist set, dude? What the fudge? We'll take a look at these enhancements though, just to see. So this one, even though he's a balanced type, we can see that he's built more defensively right here, and that seems to be the standard. Either he goes all in with defense and HP, or he goes all in with you know, crit damage, crit resist, crit rate, and just pure on attack. Dark Kokomaru, nothing extravagant here, so I'm not even going to bother covering him. It's just literally Dark Kokomaru in his lovely, lovely glory. Then we also have a Dark Misha over here on a broken set, but sitting at max crit rate as well. Let's take a look at the gems. So there's an attack gem with 26% crit rate. There's another attack gem of 13% resist and 14% crit rate. And then we have a crit rate gem of 17% resist and 21% attack. So to all of you guys out there, yes, he has plenty of ruin sets, but he also has plenty of broken sets that function just as fine as a ruin set. Now obviously you don't get the ruin set damage bonus because of the 40% crit damage, but in terms of your mon's performance, there's a difference between your mon being on a broken set and being able to do its job properly, and your mon being on a complete ruin set and doing absolutely abysmal damage. So do take note that a broken set is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Then we have Dark Fib over here, also on a broken set. He seems to be on HP, attack, crit rate, so I'm just not going to click on the gems over here. But yeah, I am a fan of Dark Fib. He definitely deserves a super evolution, even though I know you haters out there would be like, dude, get over Dark Fibian, dude. He's not even that good, bro. We do have a Dark Merlin though. He's on a pugilist set with 58% resist. Not even max, bro. Not even max. He does have a weakened super ascension on him, and 3 books in him so far. More Dark Merlin books than what I have. Let's take a look at the gems though. So HP gem of pugilist with 9% resist. Defense gem with 12% resist. And then another defense gem with 20% resist. So that explains it. Nothing extravagant in terms of rolls into the resist. Obviously he could tweak it though, but still, I mean, it's very much acceptable, and he's variant, so he has that discernment lead. That's poggers. Then moving on though, we have Dark Flora over here on a siphon set. She's almost at max crit rate as well. Let's take a look at these gems. Oops, I lied. I lied, you guys. It's not a siphon set. It's a Gem of Magi set. Oops. Well, they do look alike. I mean, they're both blue. That's the only way they look alike. I mean, they're the same color of their background too, but they're both blue, bro. So they totally look alike. But anyways, there's an attack gem with 12% crit rate. Crit rate gem with 26% attack. And then another attack gem of 20.5% crit rate. Still, once again, some pretty good rolls into these gems. And then we also have a Dark Siegfried over here. He's rocking, what is that, 67% crit rate and then 41% resist. Let's take a look at these gems, man. He is super ascended, so we'll cover that right after this. So a defense gem of Ruin with 14.5% crit rate and 8%, not 8%, but 18% resist, as well as a little bit of crit damage up there. There's another defense gem. Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down, with 20.5% crit rate. And to top it off, we have another defense gem with 9% resist and 13.5% crit rate. Once again, with a little bit of crit damage up there as well. I mean, that does add up. Definitely does add up. And with his enhancements, he does have Shield Breaker, which grants a 45% chance to dispel the enemy's shield. So, very interesting. Dark Lucky over here, he's on a broken set. He's sitting at 57% resist, but I don't really feel the need to cover him because, at least in my opinion, he's there. He exists. He's not super duper amazing, but he's not super duper bad. He is just hanging out. And then we have a Dark Camilla over here. She's sitting at 60% resist. I've never built one. I mean, I should, at least on the casualty account, but I've never like actually used her. But, you know, we won't talk about that. Anyways, yeah, she's on the broken set. She's rocking 60% resist. Let's take a look at the gems. So, HP gem, because she is an HP aggressor with 14% resist and 13.5% crit rate. Another HP gem with 31% resist. Wow. Wow. And then another HP gem with 15% resist, and that's pretty much it for her. Okay. Okay. Moving forward though, let's take a look at this lovely, lovely Dark Sparklet over here. Nothing too extravagant going on with him either. He's sitting at 29% resist and some crit rate, but yeah, he's not crit rate reliant, so it's not a big deal if he doesn't have any crit rate. Also, considering he has a 2k attack stat, it's not going to be the end of the world if he doesn't have any crit rate. There is a Dark Birdie though. This one is the HP aggressor, and he's sitting at freaking 104% crit rate. So let's take a look at him on this Gem of Ruin set. So there's the HP gem with 12% crit damage and 20% crit rate. A crit rate gem with 8% resist, so very little resist, and then 18% crit damage. And then another HP gem with 20% crit rate. So crit rate, HP. I mean, I guess it's fine. Adrenaline. Adrenaline does take a hit, but I guess you want him to hit like a butt cheek on a stick versus just, you know, being a tanky aggressor. And then we have a Dark Cupid over here. He's sitting at max resist. Also super ascendant with unwavering resolve, which that is actually pretty scary because now he can heal himself and also shield up the squad. So I don't want to fight that, but let's take a look at the gems though. So there's an HP gem with 21.5% recovery up there, but 6% resist and 7.5% crit rate. So this gem in itself isn't even extravagant at all. And then there's another HP gem. There's some recovery and some resist and a little bit of crit rate up there. And then another HP gem with 23% resist. Some recovery, but 23% resist. 16, that is nearly 40. It's like 39% resist. Then it must be from trinkets and enhancements. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, bro, wait a minute. Yeah, super duper scary. He's not even super evoed either, so things will get worse. I mean, it's better for Agent Angel, but things will get worse for everyone else. Then we have a Dark Vamp. He's on a broken set. Nothing extravagant here. He does have books, but he's like, I'm not going to book him up. Forget Dark Vamp. Which, honestly, Dark Vamp is a good sapper since his recent change. But nothing extravagant. Nothing worth checking out here on him. There's also a, what's her name? Freaking Dark Grab Bag. Or, as I said, before she had her whole, like, skill rehaul, it was like Dark Garbage. You know, oh, they forgot the E on her name, Grab Bag. They forgot the E, bro. But, I mean, her skill change is acceptable. But she's on a Gem of Magi set. She's rocking 61% resist. So, HP gem with 25% resist, if I can read. Another HP gem, nothing too extravagant up there. And then another HP gem with, yeah, nothing really worth mentioning there. What are her skills again? Okay, HP based shield. Okay, gotcha. Because I think they gave her like a flat shield before her skill change, which I'm thankful for. Because that was going to be totally weird, champ. Then we have a Dark Shadow. Shadow is super ascendant. He has Fiery Resolve, so there's a 40% chance when getting attack. He can increase his own attack power by 50%, so he can potentially hit like a butt cheek on a stick here. He's sitting at 69% resist though, and also 75% crit rate. So he has an attack gem of Intuition with 26% crit rate and 16% resist. There's an HP gem of 18% resist and 13% attack. And then a defense gem with 12% crit rate and 15% resist. So he's basically on a bruiser set, which is perfectly fine because he is a bit fragile with his HP and defense. I mean, they're not bad, but with him being attack orientated, but him also having attack up, it kind of puts him in an awkward position, even though he's a Darkmon, because you couldn't, I mean, it wouldn't be wrong for you to build him to be more damage orientated. But what's the point of his attack up to help boost up his damage and the whole squad's damage if he's dead? You know, so you do have to find like a little balance there, but you know, I think it's perfectly fine. Moving on though, we do have Dark Mr. C here. He is also on a Ruin set, and he's rocking, what is that, 63% crit rate? Is this Stalker 40 or 50? His Stalker's 50, yeah. So he literally only needed 40% more crit rate, period, and congratulations. His 3-star skill is free. Let's take a look at the gems though. So there's an attack gem of 19.5% crit rate, which is basically half the crit rate he would need. Another attack gem with 12.5% crit rate. And then another attack gem with 12.5% crit rate. So that explains where he gotten all that from. So yeah, he's just hanging out. There's also a Dark Hades on the Intuition set. He's rocking 67% resist and also 85% crit rate. So wow, that is pretty impressive, especially since you see, congratulations dude, there's no square slot either. That is pretty darn impressive. But let's see here, there's an attack gem of 14.5% crit rate and 13% resist. There's an HP gem of 24.5% crit rate. And then there's another attack gem of 23% resist. So not going triple attack, which once again, even though his attack stat is pretty good to be honest, 32k, and his defense stat is nothing to scoff at. I mean, I guess he wants some survivability to him, because what's the point of you doing all this curse damage if someone sneezes on you and then you immediately proceed to die? But yeah, that's pretty fair. One Hades book as well. If I was going to build a Hades that isn't Water Hades, I would definitely be building this one if I had the option. Then there's another Dark Snow White here, but we've already covered one of those, so I'm not going to bother with this one. Sorry, baby girl. We do have some Dark Odin action. Did we do Dark Odin earlier, or is this the first Dark Odin? Nope, this is the first, maybe the only. But she's not a Bastion set. She's rocking 72% resist as well. So let's take a look at these gems. So there's an attack gem of 16% resist. There's an HP gem of 27% resist. And then there's a defense gem of 15% resist. So full on bruiser, trying to get some damage, but mainly some survivability out of her. I can totally understand that. I mean, that's fine. She's nothing amazing though, so I can't be like, oh, he should have did this, he should have did that. No, it's literally just Dark Odin. There's a potential with her ultimate evolution in the future for her to be spicy, but you have to find out once that is released and I do an updated video for good old baby girl Odin over there. Moving forward though, we do have a Evo 3 Dark Acer. She is super ascendant as well, and she has Blessing of the Fallen, which grants 100% chance to restore allies' HP by 40% when she dies. So when she dies, the whole squad gets 40% of their own HP, I do believe, added back to them, which is a yikers. But she's on a Ruin set over here, and she's rocking, what is that, 73% crit rate, 38% resist, so resist is looking a little low. But there's HP gem of 20% crit rate. Another HP gem of 20.5% crit rate. And then another HP gem with 17% resist and 13.5% crit rate. So it looks like the goal here is not only for her to be like offensive, but also for her to basically kind of, it's like a mix in between. So a more balanced approach, as one could say, because you could build her in regular like tanky HP aggressive fashion, but he also wants her to hit like a butt cheek on a stick, paired up with that Barb Taunt, which could be problematic because Barb Taunt does, it definitely does hurt. And then you have a Dark Mon paired up with Ruin with some decent crit rate on her as well. You know, you could be cussing if you fight her. There's Dark Valk though, no gems on her, but she is Evo 3. We have a Dark Balrona. She is on a Pugilist set, rocking 79% resist. 79. Crit rate doesn't matter here because she's a freaking tank. I mean, look at her 51k HP. She's a freaking tank, so crit rate does not matter here. But she has Unwavering Resolve, which once again, there's a 40% chance of her getting hit and restoring 20% of her own HP. Disgusting. So for the Pugilist set, there's a HP gem of 23% resist. There's another HP gem with 16% resist because she does have Adrenaline, if I do recall. And then another HP gem with 18% resist up there as well. Morale boost and Adrenaline. Yep. Wow, that is absolutely awful. And enhancements, just to see that nothing changed here since it's been a little bit. HP defense, crit resist, and resist. That is just sad, man. Feels bad, man. Anyone out there feeling bad right now? I'm like, bro, I'm about to go ahead and cut this review off, man. I'm about to go do golems. I'll see you guys in a year. Dark Venus over here, though. She is on a broken set. She's rocking max resist, though. Let's take a look at the gems. So, defense gem with 17% resist. HP gem with 15% resist. And then another HP gem with 15% resist and some recovery up there as well. He also has a Dark Wolf, I want to believe. 49% resist up there and then 55% crit rate. Not really going to get in him because it's just freaking Dark Wolf. But the other mons that he's over here hoarding is another Dark Sarah. There's a Dark Sura, a Dark Benji, who's sitting at max crit rate at the moment. A Dark Eve. Dark Siren, Dark Monkiki, Dark Incubus, who he has with some decent freaking resist. But I was looking at his stats real quick. I was like, wow, he's an attacker type and his stats are that low. But it's level 43 out of 50, so never mind. Dark Yaksha, Dark Camilla, Dark Sphinx, Dark Poseidon, Dark Neza, Dark Radis, Birdie, Rabiddle. I think that is pretty much it, you guys. So let's go over here and peek at the storage because the rest of this is Ancient Angel's question mark decisions. So storage wise, let's see what he's working with. The game had to load for a second over here. So in his first storage, he has a whole bunch of Nat 5s. There's a variant Purse and a variant Arthur, Evo 3 Fire Purse, Fire Xiao Wujing, Nightmare, Shiva, Garuda, Siegfrieds, they don't count. Some Indras, Gilgamesh, Arthur, more Wujings, and Kidu. Basically, any Nat 5 that exists is over here in this box in some form or fashion. He even has some Baby Sharks and also some Fire Gleams. He has some Water Nat 5s, plenty of those. I'm just not going to say it anymore because there's literally just too many. But variant Artemis, variant Xiao Wujing, variant Enkidu, variant Garuda, variant Shiva. Wow. Whole bunch of Balronas over there. $85 million Nightmares. We're still scrolling, you guys. We're still scrolling. Oh my goodness. Dude, there's 5 Wood Garudas just sitting over here hanging out. 2 Wood Merlins. A Wood Indra, which I still want. Don't judge me. 2 variant Wood Gleams. Some silvers that he could Evo 3 at any point in time, but he's like, you know what? I'm not going to use them, so he's going to stay like this. 2 light Hohenheims. Weird champ. There's a light Valk. 2 light Siegfrieds. The world's most Holy Gleams in existence. Just a whole page of Holy Gleams. And then there's also a second Dark Wukong, a second Dark Mr. C, a Dark Odin, another Dark Barona. Storage wise, we're on the second part of his freaking storage with more Nat 5s. I'm just not going to say anything anymore. Okay. I could talk now. We're moving to some Nat 4 Nation. I was like, bro, if there's even more Nat 5s, like another storage thing full of Nat 5s, I am literally uninstalling my account right now. Like, congratulations, you guys. This is my last video. That's still a lot of Nat 5s. And then some variant Nat 4s. I guess just in case if some good Nat 4s ever come around in Rebirth, or if, you know, one's introduced that's new and actually good, he can just go ahead and hopefully get a variant version of those at one point or another. Wow. Absolutely disgusting. He even has freaking Grandpa and Grandma Shark in here. What is wrong with him? More Holy Gleams? Another Dark Wukong? Oh my gosh. And then Storage 3. Once again, we got some more Nat 5 action kind of spread out here. Fire Scheherazade. Some more Nat 4s coming up, don't worry. Some more of the baby sharks. I would say we're thinning the ranks of Nat 5s. But at this point, my estimation of his Nat 5s and his storage out of all like 900 Nat 5s, or not Nat 5s, but all 900 slots in his storage, I would estimate he probably has at least around 5 million Nat 5s. Somewhere in between at least 0 to 5 million Nat 5s. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to pass. Look at all these freaking wood enders, dude. Why couldn't this be me? Why? We got some wood gleams over here. Another freak. He has like a light Siegfried like spread out all across the box, just hanging out, bro. So like Venus, even though she isn't that super duper useful. Another light Hana. Some more light Venuses, light Cupid. Another light Hana, a light John. Baby sharks. Some more Holy Gleams. Dark Venus. Wow. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, you guys, for the lovely visit into Leafye's account. This is probably like my longest account review ever. It's been super duper fantastic being able to do this. And let's go ahead and count how many light and dark non-contract mons that he has before I wrap this up, you guys. I gotta be nosy. We're here already. So light Siegfried doesn't count because you can literally farm him out, which is why he has 8 million of them. So I don't think there's anything on this page. What about this page? There's a Dark Wukong on this one. I think that was it for this specific page. Yep, Dark Wukong, so that's one. There's Light Valk, I'll count that as 2. Silver doesn't count because he's just an event mon, even though he never came back. Barona, that's 3. I'll count this Dark Odin as 4. Another Wukong as 5. And then we have, who else? He has 3 Light Hohenheims. Light Garuda as 6. I counted a Light Valk, so I'm assuming maybe one of these was a contract mon. So we can go ahead and say 7. And then that would make 8 right here. I'm going to count Odin as his contract mon. I don't know if it was or not, but we're at 8, 9, 10, 11. Light Poseidon does not count because he is farmable. So 11, 12, 13, 14. Dark Marlin doesn't count. Dark Siegfried doesn't count because you can farm them out. Just don't be lazy. 15, 16. I counted a Dark Odin already, so we're at 16, 17, 18, 19. So as long as I did my math correctly and not counting his potential contract mons, which I have no idea of what he picked or not, he's at minimum sitting at freaking 19 light and dark nat 5s. That is more than what anyone will ever probably see in their account. I'm 99% sure that is more than what I have. Obviously, he's been playing longer too, but holy crap. So you guys, that is the account review of Leafye, which to this date is the longest account review I've ever done. It is a very monumental moment over here for me. I mean, there's a lot of words I could say, but there's been a lot of time and effort put into the account here. And don't think because you don't have perhaps the quality that he has that you're not a bad player. He just knows what he's doing, at least in some fashion or some degree. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. Feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I'm sure he'll check them out. If you guys haven't added Ancient Angel in the Discord, which you can join once again in the description below, go ahead and add him and just be like, dude, I hate you because this is just disgusting. I didn't need to see this today. I am uninstalling MSL and I'm never coming back because your account is literally all of our accounts combined and more. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys had a lovely time visiting his account, and yeah, see ya.